Welcome to our stupa series. Have you ever been on a pilgrimage? I remember when my mother took me on my first one. I was 7 or 8 years old. And she was a mother of 4, like every year a children. She was taking care of her farm. And she was taking care of my grandparents and another elderly relative which was living with us. And we went together on this pilgrimage. More or less, she was walking and I was most of the time on her arms. And I will never forget it. The energy of hope at this place. And I could feel that my mother was going there because she was asking for help for her life. She had a lot to tackle. And when we have been home, she was changed. There was suddenly this, I don't know, this passion again in her eyes to live her life. And today I think she was taking me because she was asking for help for me. Because I was a very little and small child, I was very introvert, and I think she was worried about me, that I grow up into a person who can tackle life. And I think it has helped. And we went on many pilgrimages, and every time it was the same. You go there because you are asking for help in your life. And that's what we want to create with all these stupas at Diamond Mountain. A place of hope for people, which is so necessary in nowadays world. May I introduce Hanlie from Wick, director in Diamond Mountain. She's from South Africa and she is a natural born pilgrim. Maybe you want to say a few words about that.
Yes, I'm someone who's always looking for places, interesting places to go to, spiritual journeys. So I think I'm like a natural pilgrim / nomad in a way. But for now, I found myself at Diamond Mountain and I've been here for just over a year and really loving it and very excited about this project. It's going to be amazing.
Yeah, and we are happy to have you.
Thanks.
My name is Sunam. I'm also director at Diamond Mountain together with Hanley. I'm an ordained nun, and so the spiritual side of the pilgrimage is more or less a little bit my responsibility. We want to give you today a preview of all the live streams we have planned for you, that you get up to date what we are doing in the project. And also want to give you an update on the actual donation status and the timeline. Absolutely. When will the stupas be ready and you can come on a pilgrimage to Diamond Mountain? Can we have the next slide? It was in a translator term of the mixed nuts in 2018 when Geshe-la presented the first time his idea of building a temple at Diamond Mountain. And from there, the idea of building the 7 Metsin Buddha stupas and the temple evolved over 2 years. Next slide, please. So that's why we are really happy that in the next stupa live stream, Geshe-la will present all these famous places all over the world. And every religion, every country has its pilgrimage site. So it's something which is very universal. And he also tells the story about the big pilgrimage sites like Palitana or Compostela in Spain. And also about small pilgrimage sites which developed because the people visited them and they had trust that they find help there. Next slide. In the next one, we will go deeper into the meaning of a stupa. The stupa is a representation of the Buddha's body and also of the teaching itself. As you can already see on this one image, it builds up with the three jewels, the core and basic of Buddhism. Then it goes to the ideas of the four immeasurables, that you want everybody to be free of pain, to be happy in their life. And a lot more. There is so much to say, it's a separate live stream. And then, the next slide, please. When we go further on the timeline, we spent more or less the whole last year to develop a business plan for the pilgrimage site. Even if it is a place of worship and hope for the people, we are living in the world. You need to do your numbers. You need to figure out if you can build stupas in the desert. If the neighbors have any concerns if we are building a stupas. How much money will it be to run a stupa? And so that's what we did in 2020. And then we started fundraising last December during the Medicine Buddha retreat, which was live streamed from Diamond Mountain. And during that time, we also started to try to figure out who can help us to do so.
Exactly. So Sheree, Moore and I started looking around for different architects all over the world who would have done anything like this. And it became a very interesting journey for us. Eventually, after a while, we settled on an architectural firm in Tucson called Line and Space. And the reason that we chose them is because not only were they really wonderful and nice people, they had a very creative vision and made the effort to come out to Diamond Mountain and look at what we wanted to do and listen to us. And I'll tell you a little bit more about that in the next slide. Oops. The next thing we had to figure out was what kind of marble do we use for these stupas? Because as you know, stupas can be built out of all kinds of materials. But because we have a marble quarry right next to us, our neighbors, Geshe Michael's vision was to use that marble to build these stupas. And so we'll have a session with one of the master quarriers who extracts marble from all over the world. And he's the one who knows what type of marble, how does marble work, can we cut it in a certain way? And he'll know whether the marble that we have here, which is unique in the world, is something that we could use, and how should we cut the marble out of the mountain, because you have to cut it a certain way to make it work. We then moved on to getting the architects formally signed up, and we spent quite a bit of time in an interview with them where they asked us many, many questions, some of which we didn't even think about.
Like,
how do people arrive? Where do they park? What do they do next? Is there a center? Where do they go to the bathrooms? When they get up the mountain and they want to come down quickly because they've had enough, how do they come down? Do we put a temple on top of the mountain? And where do we put it? And so we went hiking all the way up the mountain, looking at different spots and places, trying to figure out how are we going to do this. And that's when we knew we made the absolute right choice with this architectural firm. That they would not only capture the vision, but they would capture the heart of the whole project.
And I also like that they have quite a lot of experience building in Asia, especially in China. So that was also a sign for us that they grasp different cultures, different religions.
Absolutely. And so they are currently busy finishing up the master plan. And at in one of the months, we're going to interview them, and they will show you some of their work all over the world. And you can see what they've been doing, and they will share the master plan as well.
Can you show the next slide? I love it.
This is the picture of them standing on the consecrated ground that we consecrated during the Medicine Buddha retreat in December, looking at how it might work, where things should be going, and really very carefully planning things out. So we are in very good hands. What also happened during the Medicine Buddha retreat is we went to a trip. We went on a trip to our neighbors next door to go look at the marble quarry and to meet the owners. Because they are our neighbors, and because we're planning to use the marble that they have, it was important for us to look at all the different types of marble that they have. The one that really stood out to us is there was a blue marble, because you get very white marble, then you get marble that's mixed and gray, then you get sort of a pink rosy marble, and there was this blue marble, and we all went, we think we'll have that one. And so Michael Gonzalez explained, Geshe Michael, and V was on the tour, explained to them all about the marble, how it works, how it comes out. And we could actually for ourselves see the marble, and we will share that trip with you. And then when we came back, we realized we had to do something about putting trees at Diamond Mountain.
A few hundred years ago, it was not a desert. There have been oak trees all over the place, and it was a beautiful green scenery. And most of the trees have been used to build the railway roads. We all know that from the cowboy movies, how that goes. But this led to this more or less really semi-desert area where we are. And since we want to create a place of hope, a place of healing, not only healing the body, also healing your relationships, we also want to heal the land.
Absolutely.
That's why this project also includes that we want to have a reforestation project where we give the trees back to create a beautiful green area. And we have a few pictures how that could look like. On the upper left, this is how the trees are planted between the stupas up the hill. On the upper right, how it could look like when you drive the road to Diamond Mountain. On the bottom right, how the area where the guests arrive, on the right side, that's the temple, the actual temple, how we can there create a space of recreation with shadow. And one of the live streams will be about pilgrim practices with Geshe Michael. What do you do on a pilgrimage? What do you do when you are there and you are climbing up the hills with all the stupas? And the picture in the background is a very famous wall in Italy. For example, there, this is some kind of newly developed habit there in Italy, where the people write on a small piece of paper what is their problem, what they are hoping for, and pin it to the wall. There is another famous wall where you put your hopes there, which is in Israel. I only know the German word, Klagemauer. Do you know the English term, Hanlie?
I think it's a prayer wall.
It's a prayer wall. And he will tell us a lot about pilgrim practices, and especially pilgrim practices associated with stupas and the medicine Buddha. And then we are happy that Venerable Chikmila is telling us the history of Diamond Mountain. Diamond Mountain was founded in 2001. And we have a beautiful picture how the people at that time built Diamond Mountain in their own time, with their own money. And they created such a magical place for meditation and retreat. And I think it's worth knowing the history. And I think it also is some kind of preview how somebody can create a magical place. And it would also be then the goal that we can do the same with the stupas and the pilgrimage. And this leads us to our, at the moment, last live stream. We have planned more details about stupas. You can see a very, very complicated drawing on the slide. And if you look closer, maybe, Hanley, you can drive with your mouse, that there is a Buddha sitting inside the stupa. So normally the stupa is associated with the mind of the Buddha. But as you can see on this picture, sitting the Buddha inside, and then the stupa drawn after or built after the Buddha's appearance, that there are much more, like all the chakras. Are integrated into the stupa. So then we go really into a deep dive about all the meanings of a stupa. It's part 2 of the meaning of the stupas.
And already we have some of the plans that Jim Westbrook very kindly donated to us for the stupa.
Yeah. Can you show us the next slide, please? So these are the stories, the information we want to give you during 2021. And as the plan are at the moment, groundbreaking will be in 2022. And hopefully we finalize construction end of 2023, 2024. And then we would like to invite all of you for the groundbreaking. But there is a little bit of obstacle in between. To build all of this, we need 10.5 million US dollar. It's an ambitious project, we know that. But most of you have already been so generous. I can show you the actual numbers, and that makes me so modest and humble. Your generosity is incredible. Oops, there is missing a lot of it.
I was just wondering if that was going to come up.
Oh, maybe I open mine and share from my screen because I'm a number person. I would like to show the numbers.
Sure. Okay.
Give me a second to open PowerPoint. Sorry. That's Windows and Apple. They are not really compatible. So now we need the drum roll for the numbers. Can somebody please do a drum roll?
Ta-da!
Okay. More than 500,000 for the stupas Taiwan. Taiwan pledged to take care of 2 stupas. More than 300,000 from Singapore. More than 200,000 from Malaysia. More than 150,000 from Dr. Wu and friends. And the rest of the countries, they got all together and pledged the final stupa, and they call it the Sam.de, which is a Tibetan word, which means beyond borders. And they have so far, it's more than 120,000. So by end of March, the total amount was 406. Oh God, now my English. Please, can I have English translation for the numbers, Hanlie?
1,416,350,000 US dollars.
Thank you so much. And so far, we have not had a lot of expenses because we are in the planning phase. So we put, that's a general rule at Diamond Mountain, that from each donation, 2% are put towards the endowment, so that which will sustain Diamond Mountain for the future. Most of the expenses have been credit card and bank fees. Then we paid the first charge for the architects. They are working on the master plan, which will be finalized by May, and we will present it to you then. Then we set up a complete new donor management system because it's an incredible amount of donation, which we need to be able to track as well. And then, as I said, we are also doing this reforestation project. And for this, we also had worked with the University of Arizona, and they also may send us their first drawing. So that is the expenses we had so far. We want to really say thank you. We are so humbled by your generosity, and we hope that you all rejoice in this, because it's just such an incredible thing to do. We are so grateful, and yeah, Hanlie. Maybe.
No, I agree with you. We are very, very thankful for your generosity, for your time, your effort that's been going into this as well. Even like today, that we have people joining us to share this journey and share it with many people across the world. So thank you, whether it's time, money, effort, all of that counts towards the final stupas going up the mountain.
Yeah, and we can only really pledge to all of you that we are working hard, that this stupas will come to life. We will take good care of your money. I remember it was in 2016 in Mexico during a Lamrim retreat, where we discussed all the different healths. And I remember very, very exactly, there is a hell, especially for the people who are not taking good care of donation money, who are not spending it properly. And in this hell, your tongue will got torn out your mouth, and then they are going with a pizza roller over your tongue back and forth. So we want to avoid that. We pledge to you that we take good care of your money. We will spare it wisely and for what you have donated it. So up next is Geshe-la and the stories about famous stupas and steps. If you want to get updates, please go to diamondmountain.org/stupa-updates or scan the code. There you find all the updates. There you find the links to the social media, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and we will inform you in time about the date, and hope that you come and hear all these beautiful stories. Mm-hmm. So I think we have a few minutes for questions. Mm-hmm. If you have questions. Please type them in the chat. Oh, I see one question. What will be the name of the stupa? So there will be 7 stupas, which are all related to the medicine Buddha. And to be honest, we have not yet finally decided.
Mm-hmm.
But the plan, what we have at the moment, is that each stupa is dedicated to one of the medicine Buddhas. So there's a whole family of medicine Buddhas. And also each Buddha is associated to a color. So this is another idea we have not yet finalized, that each stupa is in a different marble color,
Mm-hmm.
which is corresponding to the color of this medicine Buddha. If you have any other ideas, let us know.
Absolutely.
Is there another one?
No more questions yet?
Do you see another question? The chat is scrolling so quickly.
I don't yet.
Somebody said nice to have road names to each stupa. We put that on the list. Thank you for the idea. Good. Then we have a few minutes to go. Is Tim around?
Sorry, one more. I'm sorry, one more question.
Yes, please.
Do we
so
have
hard to talk and follow up with the questions at the same time?
This is right. Will we have disability tracks? That is something that we have put into consideration as well, to figure out how to get people who may not be either disabled or not feeling well, how to get them to the top of the mountain or find ways to get them there. So yes, that is definitely in the planning and in consideration. Good question.
Yeah, because the walk might be up to 2 hours, up to the top of the hill. So we are also thinking about transportation, as Hanlie said, who are not able to walk up the hill for 2 hours in the desert.
Mm-hmm. And so there might also be shorter walks, so an easier one and then a more difficult one. So those are some of the ideas that they're throwing around, so that if you maybe not fit or you don't have much time, you can still do something. But if you have lots of time or you want to stay on and do it for a few days in a row, you can do that also.
Mm-hmm. And the estimated cost for the 7 stupas, including everything with the transportation, the welcome center, the toilets, is 10.5 million total. Yeah, and I also say, Endora says travelator or cable car. Yes, we are researching at the moment all these options. Yeah. Good. Yes, let's do it. And since you're so generous people, I thought you might be interested in the upcoming program which Asian Classic Institutes is offering. Welcome, Tim. Thank you for stopping by. I can share the slides if you want me to.
In just a second, I want to talk first. Could you pin me up there?
Thank you for getting up early to be with us.
Mhm.
Ah, there we go. Cool. Hi, and you're welcome for, I loved hearing this beautiful presentation and hearing where we are. And one of the ways that we got here was that we started in last December with a Medicine Buddha program, actually teaching what Medicine Buddha is. And many of you on this call were in that program. And part of the Medicine Buddha Stupa project is also to teach about Medicine Buddha, because it's kind of silly to have a bunch of Medicine Buddha stupas and not have Medicine Buddha practitioners around the world. And so one of the most beautiful things that started happening after the Medicine Buddha practice is, after the Medicine Buddha retreat, that is, we started seeing a lot of changes in the world. We started seeing vaccines being invented. You know, and in different places of the world, we're in different places, different states of being able to come back together and live something more like a normal life. And, you know, and I just want to share, you know, last night we had the most amazing dinner with friends. We had a gorgeous feast. It was amazing. We cooked together, we sat, and we enjoyed the presence of each other. And it was amazingly delicious. It was, and just being together with everyone was just enough to celebrate that maybe we're planting the right seeds and doing a very good Medicine Buddha practice. And, you know, and last December, we got a feast at Diamond Mountain of teachings on how to do the Medicine Buddha. And I would say it was delicious. We had ceremonies. We learned how to do the practices. We learned about the mantras. You know, and I was driving home last night and I was thinking about the dinner. And why am I talking about dinner?
Good question.
Right. You know, and I was thinking, like, how did we make that dinner? Like, we just sat down and this feast appeared, but we didn't really think too much about how we made the dinner. And, you know, and Medicine Buddha was like that. You know, we had this amazing, amazing teachings on the practice. And some of you have had amazing results. We're getting stories all the time. Sunam, we got a beautiful story last week about someone whose cancer, because of their Medicine Buddha practice, they had cancer, they had surgery, and then the surgery just, all of a sudden the cancer was gone before the surgery. You know, and we're hearing stories over and over again about how this practice has helped people. And our job is to also teach you how the practice works. How do you keep that going? Like, oftentimes when we first start practicing, it is like a feast. You know, it's delicious, it's amazing, it's enjoyable, and all these seeds start going off. All these beautiful things start happening. And then we want to figure out, all right, how do we keep that going? How do we keep that momentum? How do we keep that ability for us to keep doing our Medicine Buddha practice and keep it fresh, alive, and working for us? And so that's our job. You know, Sunam and I have talked a lot about, you know, how do we keep this going? How do we keep planting those seeds? And so our job is to help give you those tools, to help give you that information. So Sunam, if you can now share the PowerPoint. You know, so the good question that we have for all of you really is, what is the best thing that you can do with your life? You can push the arrow button, please, Sunam. You know, we're doing these beautiful, beautiful medicine Buddha practices. We're caring for people. We're thinking about them. We're thinking about their sufferings. We're thinking about what can we do to really serve them. And then how do we do that in the world? Like, how do we do that off our cushion? How do we do that out of the ceremony? How do we do that when we're not only doing animal liberation, we're not only meditating and doing our mantras, but how do we do this in all of our life? Mm-hmm. And so at Diamond Mountain, live, coming up in about 3 weeks, starting on April 17th, you can go to the next slide, please. We're going to start teaching you deeper teachings on the Medicine Buddha and how we make the Medicine Buddha practice supercharged. How do we make it more powerful? Can you go to the next slide, please, Sunam? Huh. This is a Windows Mac. Could you unshare it here? I'm going to share my screen.
Yeah. It's so funny that, yeah.
Sorry,
I'm a Windows user and I'm proud of it.
So funny when this happens. All right. There you go. Yay! Live. You're really wondering, right? We're building the suspense. What is the best thing you can do with your life? All right, here we go. So at Diamond Mountain, we will be live again, like we were back in December, with a program that's designed to help you build the seeds for your Medicine Buddha practice. It's designed to help you open your heart to generate what we call bodhicitta, that vision of how we're going to move from planet to planet to save all living beings, to care for all living kind, and how to do that. So we're going to have 15 live classes. We're going to have yoga, meditation. Also, we're going to be giving you retreat time as well. Now, big question. What if I can't take off this entire week, right? That's okay. We have several schedules for you that you can choose depending on your busyness in life. You can take those 10 days with us, all of it. You can take part of it. You can also take the courses in your own time, and we'll provide options for you. So if you can't come with us on all of those days, relax. You can join us in your own schedule, in your own time. And then after the event, we're going to be having weekly follow-ups. And just for you special Medicine Buddha practitioners, we're also going to be having special study groups dedicated to working with Medicine Buddha practice and the content we'll be learning at Diamond Mountain. So if you would like to join this program, here's the QR code. Here's the link. We'll also put some links in the chat as well. That link takes you to an English page, but on the English page also has in the middle of the page, it has all the languages. Click on your language and then you can see all the content there. So we're very much looking forward to seeing you there, and we're connecting, deeply what we're building at Diamond Mountain, right? We're building this pilgrimage center as a beacon of hope in the world. And we're also educating Medicine Buddha practitioners how to do the practice, and then how to build the seeds to keep the practice going and make it more and more powerful. And over the year, before we get to October again, with the Medicine Buddha practice retreat number 2, we're going to be offering even more programs for you that go really deep into how mantras work, how emptiness and karma work in the Medicine Buddha practice. So we're looking forward to seeing you there and learning a little bit more with us and studying and really, really taking care. What's most important is how the vision that we have to take care of the world and how we're going to be serving people, the sick, the needy, and all different kinds of ways that people need us. And so thank you, Sunam, for inviting me and giving me the opportunity to share about our programs.
Please sign up. It's an incredible program. And I think it's always so difficult. You hear these beautiful teachings, and then you're sitting at home and asking yourself, and how do I do it exactly with my neighbor if he is putting out the screwdriver all day long, especially during live Zoom calls? And this is the teaching where you get the advice how to really practice in your daily life when you are challenged from the people around you. And I think that's the most important part. If everything is fine, it's not a problem to practice. If the people are challenging you, especially family, then you need these teachings that you know what to do. Thank you so much for being here. There is one person we would like to thank very, very especially, and that is Dr. Wu. He is the leading light who helped us so much with the Medicine Buddha retreat last year. And especially he was the person who said, yes, we can do it. I make sure that we get this 10.5 million together, and he is doing it. And this, is Laksam Namdak in Tibetan. He is taking the responsibility, and we are so grateful to him. I'm grateful to especially Tatiana and Nikita for all the tech and organizing the call. For all the translators, thank you guys. Without you, this would not be possible. For all the other tech people which are recording in all the different languages. And for Tim, always supporting us. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you.
And hope to see you all in April again with Asian Classic Institute from Diamond Mountain. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone. Goodbye.